Blood on my hands, blood on my shirt, blood on my pants. I gotta get it off by doing this work. I gotta get this blood off. All my Crips and Bloods lost. You was bought with a price. How much that blood cost?
First and foremost, I'm gonna say, call hello Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai. That's all praise to the Most High God, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Man. Give me Revelation 11, Revelation 13, right? Because the thing about America is Neo-Rome. It's the new Rome. And the thing about America is it's gonna fall just like how Rome did, because the way Rome ran themselves to the ground, America does the same exact thing. They outspreaded their army to where they were thin in ranks where they could be destroyed that way. They outsourced all their labor just like how America does to China, to Mexico, to some African countries, whatever, right? America does the same thing Rome does, and they gonna fall the same exact way because eventually everybody gonna see that and hate. Give me Revelation 17 to 16. Eventually everybody's gonna see this weakness that America's doing just like how Rome did and burn this place with fire. That's coming real soon, right? What do you mean that when you get that?
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate.
What's the whore in Revelations? Babylon the Great. They're gonna hate this whore and make her desolate and do what?
And naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Eating
their flesh, going to devour. Say where you're at. They're gonna eating somebody's flesh in the Bible, specifically in this way. It's talking about war, basically destruction. They're gonna burn this place up with fire. Keep going.
Verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill His will.
God's gonna put that in their hearts to see that weakness that Babylon has and burn it, bro. And it's gonna fulfill His will. That's the will He ultimately wants, because when we're freed from this place, we get to go where? Back home. So that's what's coming real soon. Go ahead. Right. I think it's a little more.
And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
Until it should be fulfilled, what? Or is that on there?
Yes.
Okay, right. Now go get it. Give me Revelation 13. Yeah.
Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 horns, or sorry, 7 heads and 10 horns.
He's having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's that Roman Empire. At 7 heads, we got Greece, Rome, there's Spain, France, Germania Major, Germania Minor. Who am I missing? And Britannia, right? And that 10 horns going into the NATO and EU. Go ahead.
7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
And it's basically going into, people try to break that up into different partitions of Rome, but that's really characteristics of Rome. Like as a bear, and like animals that come out and really attack and do all that stuff, right? Vicious animals. Just like how you see in give me Daniel 7. We'll keep jumping back and forth to that, because these are kind of synonymous. Get Daniel 7 verse 7, because it's really showing you how strong Rome is. It's showing you a similitude to how powerful they are. What you see in Daniel 7 verse 7. Correct?
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible.
Dreadful and terrible, just like how those animals are. Go ahead.
And strong exceedingly.
Strong exceedingly. Go ahead.
And it had great iron teeth, which devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
That's war. That's the same way Rome did around the world, man. They were the world power that nobody could really step to until they fell ultimately by their own demise, just like how Americans do. Now go back.
Verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
And what's that dragon? The Edomites. The so-called white man, just like how you see in Revelation 12. Let's prove that real quick. Let's prove what the dragon is. Give Revelation 12. We're going to jump right back to that.
This book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Sun and moon, something about a woman clothed with sun and moon, just like how that's similitude to light. What's the light? Also a similitude in the Bible, teaching and learning. Even shine, isn't shine the same Hebrew word for teach somebody? Right. It's the same thing. Go ahead. And hold up, that's a similitude to us getting the law, statutes, commandments, and the wisdom that nobody else got. Go ahead.
And upon her, it's like, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
12 stars showing you what? That's Israel. Go ahead.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another woman in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon, right? Now we see this woman having that light and having the 12 stars showing you similitude to Israel, travailing with child. Was that talking about Mashiach Yahushua, right? And you see another one there, a great dragon. Go ahead.
Behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
And that's why hold up. His tail, the tail of the dragon through the third part of the stars of heaven. That's 3 tribes. Who is that? The southern tribes who were still in Jerusalem at the time, when the Roman Empire put them in captivity and subjugated themselves to them and made them tributaries to them. So, like, just like how we had to pay taxes, even paying taxes, even in the Bible, make yourself to the point where you have to pay taxes to somebody shows us you're in servitude to them. That's captivity. So if somebody wants to turn around and say just like, oh, we're not slaves here. If you're paying taxes to a white government because you're afraid to go to jail or because of tax evasion, you're in slavery. You're in subjection. That's why they like, you say, oh, I'm not a slave. Nigga, if you pay taxes, you a slave.
Hey, so that's taxation without representation.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not, your black behind ain't somewhere with the United Nations talking about what y'all can do for Negroes.
Sure ain't.
But you gonna pay for that military though, and you gonna pay for that cop to beat you upside the head though.
Like you're paying for a cop to kill you.
That's right.
Shenanigans. Go ahead.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
And niggas gonna trip off that. Subject to payments, that's tributary. That's being a tributary. If you pay taxes, you're a tributary to somebody. That's somebody's in subjection over you. And matter of fact, one thing you gotta realize, as an Israelite, and if you deal with the Bible, there's no in-between. You either have the kingdom, which is the rulership, or you're in slavery. And if we're the Israelites, it's one or the other. And you know we're not in our kingdom right now, so what are you? You a slave. Like that, we gotta just bring it to basic facts for niggas. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 24. And when they would come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, doeth not your master pay tribute? He said, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Jesus prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter said unto him, of strangers.
Yeah.
Jesus said unto him, then are the children free. So basically, he's giving him the breakdown, saying, listen, if you were free, like these so-called blacks and Hispanics say every day, you wouldn't have to pay tribute or taxation. You would, because rulers don't tax their own children, they tax the foreigners or the what? Less wealthy, the middle class and the lower class.
People that got subjection over. Because you can't, ain't nobody, if you don't got subjection over somebody, they're not about to pay taxes.
Right, exactly.
They're not about to do that. If we had our own army that could rival the American army right now, we wouldn't be paying those type of taxes.
Exactly.
Let's be realistic here. So let me get back on point. Give me Revelation. Where you at? Revelation 12?
12.
Yeah, 12.
Verse.
Prove that red dragon.
Verse 12 and verse 4. So like chapter 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and they cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
And who was that? Yahushua. Go ahead, because he's going to say what that child's going to do. Go ahead.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, as her child was caught up unto God and to his throne.
And who was that? Yahushua. Who put Yahushua there? The Romans. The Romans is that red dragon. That's why it also said that red dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns. Just like how it said in Revelation 13. It's a continuing thought going into the next chapter. Now we can go back to verse 13. So we know who that dragon is.
Verse 13, and I start at verse 2. And the beast which I saw like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it was rooted to death, his deadly wound.
What?
One of his heads.
One of his heads that was wounded to death. What is that going into? We know, because we know that the that seven-headed monster with the, you got Greece, Rome, and the rest of them. Now look at Rome. Rome fell, and it got brought back up to what the Renaissance time. That's the Renaissance time period. It got wounded to death, and then it was healed. Go ahead.
And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power.
It said the world went what?
The world wondered after the beast.
The world wondered after the beast. Now, when you go to any school in the world, you're gonna be talking about Rome's Renaissance era. No matter what, no matter what school you go to, no matter what continent you, when you're talking about Rome's Renaissance era, because it was such a big deal to everybody. The world wondered after that beast. If Rome wasn't such a significant entity in the world, and even at that time period, why is that being talked about everywhere? I read about that in elementary, middle school, high school, and when I went to college. So if that's not a significant thing, and that's not the world wondering after it, what is it talking about? Go ahead.
Verse 4, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, blasphemies, and power was given unto him to the tune of 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
And they've been doing that since they've been existing. They walk. We about the abomination of desolation. They're walking up inside the tabernacle, sacking Rome, destroying the temple. Y'all did the same thing the Babylonians did. That's why you see it. Give me that in Psalms real fast. This is the old daughter of Edom, or daughter of Babylon. Was that 137? That's 137, right? Yeah, 137 and 7. Get that.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Because they were saying, raise it even to the foundation thereof, because when the Babylonians were destroying our land, or destroying our temple and all that, here come the Edomites right here, just cheering it on. Just like how they had, Black Wall Street. Just like how when the government was destroying Black Wall Street, you had white families circled around it and cheering it on. Just like how they was doing the same thing when the Babylonians destroyed our land and temple. It's just crazy how history repeats itself and nationalities repeat themselves in their hatred and the way they operate, but we're supposed to love them now. Like, that's crazy. But go ahead and read that again.
God. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Yeah.
O daughter of Babylon.
Yeah, you call them what?
O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of Babylon. The daughter's just like the mother, like it says in Ezekiel. They do the same thing. The Babylonians destroyed our temple. The Edomites destroyed our temple. They sacked it in 70 AD. Go ahead.
Who ought to be destroyed.
And they ought to be destroyed, just like how the Babylonians were, by the Persians. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
And that's the Bible talking about give back. Christians say, oh, just forgive you. Well, forgive the so-called white man. The Bible, God wants you to forgive them for what they said. That's how here it is. God's just allowing them to do whatever they want to us. We can't do whatever we want, but they can do whatever they want to us, and we're supposed to forgive them about it. And the Lord's going to forgive them about it. What kind of shenanigans? That's why I say Christianity is white supremacy. Because y'all not doing that for the Arabs. When the last time y'all talk about forget the Arabs for what they did to us? That's notable history. But it's just forget the white man. Why? Because you're probably, that's why I wish I had Caesar. This is what y'all did. This is what y'all do, man. Put this Caesar right here. This is what y'all do, right? Matter of fact, there it is right there. That's what y'all do. Get that on camera. Y'all paint that as to be Christ. And if y'all believe that's Christ, our people's gonna believe, believe and think that so-called white men are God's chosen people. And they're gonna perpetuate a lie. And I said this a few camps ago, right? Y'all notice how the people who they call Jews and recognize as Jews don't look nothing like Caesar Borgia. If he's supposed to be a Jew, why are we not having this conversation? Why does he not look like the Jews that they have over there? That's something that we need to be having that conversation. They have no, oh, he's not white or black. Why are y'all calling these people Jews at this painting of who y'all say a Jew is and say Christ is? Why do they not look the same? And that's why I'm calling people stupid now. Because at this point, it's 2021. It's time to do some research, bro. It's time to do some research. You got something? Okay, cut. Go ahead. You got something?
Yeah. Also, you know, it just came out how they destroyed our cities by flooding them. You know, and putting them under lakes and stuff like that. Like a lot of people don't. They say there's 100 of them out there where our black cities were drowned. You know what I'm saying? And I just, that's crazy.
That's a perfect.
You hear all the stories that they make about Esau being haunted because, you know, Tom done found out his house is built on a Native American burial ground. The reason why things like that happen is because the white man is such a disrespectful animal that he'll just kill you, leave you in an unmarked grave if he chooses to bury you, and then build a damn building over it because your life means so little to him, right?
And you wonder why they get haunted by the things they do.
Hey, that's why, like I say all the time, it's always Edomites to say, hey man, the aliens abducted me and, you know, they cut me open while I was asleep. Hey man, that's what you get.
It's tough.
It's tough.
That was tough.
To be an Edomite, man.
This was tough. Y'all said tough with this.
Right.
Y'all said tough with that. Y'all said tough with this. Shoot. If you getting probed in the asshole by an alien, tough, man. Shit.
Hey, you crazy if you think the Lord ain't torturing you.
Shit, y'all been freaking castrating us, physically and spiritually, for the last like centuries. Tough, man. Shit. Should have did better, bro. Go ahead.
Revelation 13 and verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And he opened up his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Yeah, and just like how Rome was over all, just like how Rome was the major world power, couldn't nobody step to them at that time period. And they also made war with us. Why? Because we were tributary to them even during Christ's time period. Even after that too, for years. Decades actually. Go ahead.
And verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
And our people who are going to be, those who are going to perish. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 13. All of our people who worship, because that's really jumping to something later in the chapter, but the people who end up worshiping Rome, worshiping this power structure, worshiping America, aren't going to be written in the book of life. Those who get that salvation, those who are going to be saved out of this place, they're going to be destroyed if you end up worshiping this. And you see our people, when we're out here preaching the Bible, they'll just laugh at us. Oh, y'all still reading that book? I'm just about to give money. Who taught y'all that? The so-called white man. I'm about to keep doing X, Y, and Z. Who taught y'all that? The so-called white man. That's the Roman ideology that y'all are following. If y'all want to follow after that, you're going to get put to death, and your life isn't going to be written in the book of life. Your name's going to be written in the earth. Let me see that first one.
1:13.
I think it's 1:13. Let me see Just the one. Let me see the preaching.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness.
The preaching of the cross, preaching of Yahweh Shai and Mashiach, or the truth of the Bible. Look at this, man. Now we gotta play music. The preaching of the cross is to them that perish, the 2/3 whose names will be written in the earth, is foolishness unto them. That's why they walk past us and don't say nothing to us. They hear us bringing up the Bible. They said they have to say they believe in the Bible. You got a Jesus piece son, but you don't believe in Jesus. You don't walk past us. You hear what we be teaching. You know what we be teaching. You gotta separate from your the oppressor. You gotta separate from the people who are trying to kill you. You gotta do what the Bible tells you to do. But that's foolishness unto you. You want to get the bag. What's the bag gonna do for you when it's? Matter of fact, what's the bag gonna do for you when it's Judgment Day?
Right.
When fire brings brought down upon it, what's the bag gonna do for you then? That fire is gonna burn so hot that people are gonna melt before they hit the ground. You're gonna get an underground bunker, that's gonna burn right through that. That's metal. Metal burns at a certain place. They had to burn the metal to melt it down to even be molded to be a bunker. So you think you're about to survive heat, fervent heat from the Lord? No. Your ass is gonna be like Pompeii. You know about Pompeii? It's gonna be fossils. He's gonna fossilize your ass, man. He ain't gonna posterize you. He ain't gonna put you on no t-shirt. He gonna fossil. He gonna hit you with that Pompeii. That's coming real soon to see this. Let me read that verse again.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God.
It's the power of God. If we hold on to what has been preached unto us and passed down unto us, we hold fast to the works which the house left us, as salvation unto us. That's those people who are going to be part of the book of life. Whose name's going to be written in the book of life. Now let's go back.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity.
And here's the thing, check this out right now. We always jump to verse 10, right? Because the white man will say, oh, well, I wasn't, we second generation over here, right? Now here's the thing. When you see when it says he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, that's talking about the whole seven-headed beast. That's talking about the whole Roman structure. That's talking about all the divisions that come out of Edom. That's the whole dragon. So it doesn't matter if you second generation here, you still going into slavery. Because all y'all put the Greeks put us into slavery, Romans put us into slavery, the Spanish put us into slavery, the French put us into slavery, Germania Major, Germania Minor put us in slavery, Britannia put us into slavery over there and over here. And part of that, that power structure that made America come through that. So all y'all going into slavery. It don't matter if you second, third generation, first generation over here. All y'all is going into slavery. So go ahead.
Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yeah.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here's the patience and faith of the saints. That's what we patient believe is. America is a sacrificial land. This place is meant to be destroyed, bro. It's meant to be killed, meant to be sacrificed. But it's speaking like it's got some power. America's speaking like they not ever gonna be taken down. I'm a proud American. At least I know I'm free, man. Like you're not about to get got. Like the Lord ain't about to come see you for what you've done to our people, right? That's that second beast. Go ahead.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
And that's how we know that's how we know that's America, because it exercises the same power that Rome did. The second beast exercised the same power that Rome did, right? What do we learn? Roman numerals. I think the whole things we know about Senate, like how they have the Senate and they have everybody's voting and democracy. Where's that come from? Rome. The same way y'all run your government is just like Rome. Even in Rome, they had two major political parties: the plebeians and the patricians. The plebeians, which supposed to represent the people, but they pretend like they represented the people, but they really just line their pockets full of money. What does that sound like? The Democrats. The same thing they've been doing to us. The patricians represented the rich people. What does that sound like? The Republicans. Y'all do the same thing, bro.
A lot of the so-called planets are named after Roman gods as well.
Yep. Our 7-day week system, every one of them days, Monday, Moon Day, Sunday, worship of the sun, Friday, Freya, Thursday, Thor's Day. What about that? Y'all get all that stuff from Rome. America is neo-Rome. Y'all exercise the same power that Rome did. Keep going.
Verse 12, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
And how does America get everybody to worship the first beast? Because y'all do the same. Because America is this great world power that's above everybody right now. Let's be honest. It's above the whole damn world. And all their ideologies come where? From Rome. That's how America gets everybody to worship the first beast, because it's a neo-Rome, it's a carbon copy or icon of Rome. Go ahead.
And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose belly was healed. And he do great wonders, so that he maketh fire coming down from heaven.
He make great wonders. They make fire come down from heaven. What did America do to do this? Pop quiz. Drop them bombs. Nagasaki, Hiroshima. That's how he dropped that fire that came down from heaven. Heaven is similar to the skies in that context, right? How did they do that? With the bomb they did in World War II. And what happened after that? Oh, now the war's over. Now the war's over. The war's over. Why? Read the next part.
Come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
And it deceives them, that deceives them by the works of the miracles, right? Because now it's like, oh, if that's what they can do, I don't want to see what else they can do. Like America really got some power after that. Like y'all got that clout. Because ever since that happened, that's when America really got put on the map. Because like, oh dang, they got those. They got those. They got weapons of mass destruction. Like how Bush said here, that they got weapons of mass destruction, right? They got weapons of mass destruction. I ain't about to mess with them no more. They got it. That's the dudes right there. That's when it really became Lucifer at that moment. That light bearer. Like, that's when America really got put on the map. But America ain't nothing. This place been at war since, like how you said, America's been at war since its inception. So how can this place be a great place for opportunity for everybody? When has it been an opportunity for the black man or the Hispanic and Native American man? When have we had opportunity like that? When we don't got an opportunity, we get pulled over. Shoot, it's a 50-50 to 90% chance you getting shot. I think there was they had like a statistic, right? Where it was like, I think you have like a majority chance of you not walking away from that altercation. There's a chance that, as a matter of fact, let's go into another one, right? Because it's not just the police system. You have like in certain areas, your children can't even go to school over there. And if you go send your kids over there, you're going to jail. That happened in Oklahoma. That don't happen with a so-called white man. So white man can send his child over here, nothing happens. We send our children over here to a better school where it's majority white people, which is another thing, right? Because the majority white schools get funded way better than they do ours. We want to send our kids over there, now we're going to jail. You got a sister out there in Oklahoma facing 5 years, bro. 5 to 10 years for sending their child to a different school. That's amazing. Redlining, right? We got a video coming, I think next week. We got a black real estate agent who admitted to redlining black people out of their homes, getting black people out of their homes and replacing them with white people. And they say that's better. He said that's bettering the neighborhoods. Where did he learn that from? The so-called white man, because they've been doing that to us since the 1960s. So when has it been a moment where we had opportunity like a so-called white man? Y'all already, it's basically like somebody shot the what's the gun? The starting gun for track. They shot the starting gun. Y'all done ran like 3, 4, 5 laps and said, no, now we can start. We're gonna put a whole bunch of obstacles and hurdles just like what's it called in track where it's like you got your lane, everybody else got their own lane. Is there a certain thing for that?
I have no idea.
I think it's just lane, right? Yeah. It's like everybody else gets to run the track free, but we got hurdles every step of the way. Like every 2 steps you gotta jump a hurdle, right? And try to catch up with everybody else, but now we equal. There ain't been no opportunity for us. This place is hell to us, man. Like this is craziness, bro. But go ahead. Unless you have a point. You have a point?
Yeah, I don't even know how you knew because I thought I didn't reveal it that much. Brothers in the Spirit. I got a book y'all should remember. It's called The Color of Law. Right? I brought it out probably like a couple months ago, and it talks about how the FHA, which is the Federal Housing Association, in I want to say the 40s, right? Or right around the time World War I and World War II, right? They were making white people sign under the table agreements saying, okay, if I'm the bank and if I lend you out this money so you can buy your home, you can't sell it to black people, right? And that goes into how you have the ghettos in the suburbs of today. It was all strategically designed for us to live in tight, packed communities, right? And for them to live in plush areas of America, because they know that the way you live and how confined you are does something to your psyche.
Oh yeah, you gotta see the video where I was telling you about. It's on the channel about. It's called King Coon, right? It's alright. I'll send you a link. He literally says they still do that. Yeah. They still do that. To this day, they still do that. This place is not our. Give me that place ain't our red. Look at that Micah. That's Micah. That's Micah 2 and 10. This place ain't our red. You got a pen? Anybody got a pen? I have a pen.
I got a pen. I got one.
What's the name of that book again?
Color of Law. Color of Law. Not only, and it also talks about how, once again, the Federal Housing Association green-lighted liquor taverns, prostitution halls, etc., gun shops, and all that inside the projects. We talk about how they would they said they had something called white flight. Basically, a brother moved into a suburban neighborhood, and because one Israelite moved there, all the white people would immediately pack up and leave. And what that would do is that would immediately devalue the property. Right? And then that place that used to be an influential residence would deteriorate into a ghetto, all from one brother moving into the neighborhood.
They do the opposite of that now. They'll just slap a Whole Foods next to your house.
That's it.
They just slap a Whole Foods.
Jack the rent up $500.
Now, like instead of paying $1,500, now you're paying $2,000.
Right.
That can happen over a month.
Right.
So now you expect the rent to be $1,500. Oh, they done put that Whole Foods, finished building it. Now you're paying $2,000.
They call it enemy domain.
Huh?
They call it enemy domain.
Yeah, oh, that's more or less. Eminent domain is them kicking you out, but that's gentrification. That's the word for that. They gentrify it. That's what he's, bro. You gotta see this people. It's crazy. But he said, I avidly now to this day still gentrify black people out of their homes.
Wow.
As a black dude said that. That's amazing, bro.
But we got to get over it.
But we gotta get over it. He said because we're not doing nothing with the land, so they can do more stuff with the land than us. Amazing. Right. Go ahead, what you did.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 12. Yeah, 12. And he exiles all the power of the first beast. That's like verse 14. He deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
No, we have to go into the image of the beast. The Greek word right there for image is icon or acon. It's like, it's started with E. I think it's spelled with E instead of an I. It's like acon or icon. It's basically said like icon. Now, when you see that word, it can either mean two different things. It can either mean a moral likeness of something, or it can be a literal picture of something. Now, you know the way with that speaking, that's not no literal picture. That's a moral likeness of. Now, the moral likeness of the thing it's talking about now is the beast, that first beast. That's Rome. What's the moral likeness of Rome? Homosexuality, rampant. These holidays that really have homosexuality in them. Christmas, which is Saturnalia. Yeah, Easter, the celebrating of Easter, which is homosexuality in that too. What was it? Valentine's Day, which is also homosexual. Every Greek holiday, homosexuality. And Greco-Roman thing is homosexuality, and it's practiced now. What also comes with that? Antinomianism, which means lawlessness, not being bound to any type of codified law of any kind. And that's what they do, because they like when you had at the time we went through a Wikipedia article about how the Romans felt about our laws. They thought it was disgusting. They thought we should do opposite of that, and that's the same way America does. That's the moral likeness of Rome. That's how America operates. That's that second beast. That's that image of the beast. It's not Caesar Borgia, although Caesar Borgia is part of it, because white Christianity is antinomianism. But it's all throughout all the philosophies and ideologies that America promotes. Give me Colossians 2 and 8.
It's the book of Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Philosophy and vain deceit. And that's what America teaches. After the read that next part.
After traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world.
And also the traditions of men, right? What's traditions of men? Easter, Christmas, Valentine's Day. We learn all that from the world. And what? Read the next part.
And not after Christ.
And not after Christ, because Christ didn't teach that. Christ didn't teach you Christmas. And that's supposed to be his birthday. Why is it never celebrated at any other time after when we talked about his birth? Why didn't he celebrate it? Why did he command it? Why didn't he command Easter to be celebrated? Why didn't he command Valentine's Day to be celebrated? Why? Because that comes from the world. That comes from Greco-Roman philosophies. So here's Paul saying, beware lest any man spoil you out of that. Because when you follow those things, your name's gonna be written in the world or written in the earth. It's not gonna be written in the book of life, because you're gonna get destroyed. That's what's going to happen. And that's that image. That image is literally them philosophies. Americanism. America, where at least I know I'm free. How are you free? Even the so-called white man not even free to themselves. They can't even leave America whenever they want to without trying to trying to deal with what the government's telling us. Exactly. Nobody's free here. It's the land of the slave. Go ahead. The land of the homosexual and the slave. Go ahead.
It's like in 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
They receive a mark, right? That word mark is charagma. Charagma in the Greek is a compound word of charax and grapho. So when you see the compound word for charagma right there, that means like an implanted thing, something stake, like a literal stake. Like if you Google the word palisade, does anybody know what a palisade is? Anybody know what a palisade is? A palisade is like, like a white picket fence, just one picket going up like that and stake like that. That's what a palisade is. That's what charagma is. That's what that mark is. Now we break that down into two compound words because the compound word is charax. Charax means literally something in the shape of like a syringe, really. Something syringe shaped or palisade shaped. And you see the other word grapho is something storing information. So when you put both of those together, that makes charagma. That makes that mark in the Greek. It's something impaled inside of you, and it's something written down that stores information. So the only conclusion you can come to of what that mark is, it has to be a chip. It has to be something implantable that has information. And that's coming real soon. And if that's not the case, if I'm lying about what the mark is, somebody's going to have to explain to me what them Greek words is. That's three. You have to explain to me what charagma means and why it represents a palisade and something implanted, and those two Greek words that make up charagma, which is charax and grapho. You can go into Blue Letter right now and see those things right now. Like I Googled that and look. I didn't Google that. I went on Blue Letter. When you look at that, I was blown away. I was already blown away with just charagma. But when you look at the compound words behind it, you can't believe it's nothing other side of a chip. Because it literally means implantable and something that stores information. What is that, bro? Hell, you even look at our cars. Like right now, we got this. Hold on, right? Let me show you this. Right? This is a precursor. This right here is a precursor to the chip. Right? Before we were just swiping our card. Now they're saying you gotta have this chip in here. So you get used to that. You get used to that, and then later it's like, you know what? How about instead of having to worry about losing your card, how about we just put this chip inside you, right? We see that already happening in Sweden. Sweden's been doing it. This ain't new. You get a point?
Yeah, I go to Wisconsin. They're already doing it already.
In Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Where in some jobs?
Yeah.
I heard they was doing it in some jobs, like where they implant it inside of you and you just beep in. Like so even in my job, you got like a RFID card. You got like an RFID card inside of your ID badge, so when you come in, you just scan it like that and you go in like that. It's coming real soon. Sooner or later, they're gonna replace that as currency. You talk about cryptocurrency. You about to have some currency inside your arm. It's gonna have your bank information. It's gonna have your health information. Hell, the government. We just saw that Deacon already did a video about that. The government coming out with an implantable chip that can detect diseases, especially coronavirus. So what is that going to be used for? That can already store information. That sounds like a precursor to charagma or the mark. That's coming real soon, bro. Like people looking at us like we crazy for saying there's a market beast coming, but look, man, like we'll say something like this, and then the next week, like I was just talking about charagma and talking about the market beast. The very next week, here we are talking about the government have a chip that they can implant inside of you. They can detect diseases and can store other information. Like that's coming real soon. The Bible is a spiritual book. You ain't pulling out no problems like this in the Quran. The Quran ain't coming out with nothing like this. The Mishnah with all this other stuff, you ain't getting all that. But go ahead.
Hey, Salaki, this is the etymology of chip, right? It says Latin chippus, poke, post, stake, beam.
Yo, I'm adding that to my breakdown. Where'd you get that from? The etymology.com?
Yeah, etymology.com.
We're using that.
Osmo showed me that about a couple days ago.
We're using that. Shout out to Osmo, man. Let's go subscribe to Chosen Vessel, man. But yeah, keep going.
Verse 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and then no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom.
You going too fast. It says nobody's gonna be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark. Now you have certain people under the, give me Revelation 14 real fast. Have the school of thought that's saying that the mark of the beast is sin. So that would mean the mark of the beast is out right now. You'll ask them, are you sinning right now? No, I don't sin. Okay. Can you buy or sell right now? Can you go to Walmart right now? Yes. So you have the mark of the beast then. Here's like, no, because I'm not sinning. But it says you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast. Oh, well, brother, I'm going to do some more research on that. Because that's contradictory.
And they say that's spiritual.
It's spiritual. It can't. The mark of the beast can't be spiritual, just dictated off of the context, even in general, the way it's used. And secondly, with the Greek, like that kind of the Greek kind of just cuts that entirely. Like, there's no way you can believe it's spiritual. I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just saying like that don't work. That don't work with the continuity of the Bible. Let me see Revelation 14 real fast. Where it talks about the mark.
The book of Revelations, chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead,
and receive his mark, go ahead,
in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God.
Now, when you look at that, the same shall, what does that mean? That's a commandment. That means it's not a repentable thing. If you get the mark of the beast, it's not repentable. So if sin is the mark of the beast, or you're spiritually wicked, if that's the mark of the beast, nobody up here can repent of that.
Nope.
We're all gonna die then. That don't work. That's out, man. The mark of the beast is something, if it's not the chip, it's something implantable that stores information, which sounds just like a chip. That's what it has to be, that's it. Like there's no wiggle room with that. Now go back to Revelation 13.
13 and verse 7, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
And check this out. All the people, just like I said in Revelation 14 and 9, all the people who worship the image of the beast and take that mark, they're not gonna be able to repent from it. They're gonna die. And the people who are gonna die, the same people who are gonna perish, is the 2/3. And 2/3, what's if you take the fraction of 2/3 and make it a decimal point, what is that? 0.666, man. 0.6666, man. That's our people who are gonna die. They're holding that number strong, man. They got a bright future in the message. That's pretty much it on that, man. That's all I pretty much have.
They say that buying and selling is spiritual. The mark,
you spiritually buy and sell.
They say the forehead is you thinking about wickedness, and in your hand is you doing wickedness.
I guess we're just not gonna deal with any type of. I bet the same people who say that don't deal with the language either.
No,
it makes sense.
No.
And with that, I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and say Shalom.
SICARRI.
We are the children of the one Yahweh.
The chosen.
Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Now everything belongs to us.
Shalom, what's going on? It's your brother Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew, and I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Guerrilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. There's URBNGRLA.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another SICARRI business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsicari.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.